Episode 91. Am I frozen? No, I'm here. Episode 91. Blind Spots Podcast. We're back the beginning of the year at Bobby Bronze, at not Patrick Hughes. I am happy to be here, mostly because it's my day off. Uh 4-day weekend. What's up, dogs? It's 4-day weekend. It's beautiful. The weather's great. Man, can't wait to be in the house. And I can't wait to sit around. My team's out the playoffs, so this is stress-free football that I get to have this weekend. I get to watch it and not be stressed. I can't believe how much stupid Buccaneer football stresses me out. Just sitting around, just stressed last weekend, just waiting for the game. And then it felt like ripping the Band-Aid off. It was like, it's done. It's over with. We lost. I don't have to think about this shit anymore. I almost went to the game because the prices were really good, but I'm glad I sat it out because I'd had to, not only just because of a loss, but like, because honestly, I guess at this point, the way I think about these football games is like, you shouldn't go there expecting a win. Because if you go there expecting a win, and this is not explicitly to the Bucks, but if you're
Enjoy
going there,
yourself.
yeah, because then you're gonna feel like you wasted your money.
It's
And
just
there's
something
so
to do.
many other things you can do to look forward to with going to these games.
Yeah.
And it's not so much about the win and the loss. Now, getting a win is obviously a great thing. Getting a loss is obviously not a great thing. But the atmosphere of Raymond James Stadium or Mercedes-Benz, because I've been there for Beyonce show, just beautiful places, good places to watch football, good to be around, similar, Bucks fans or whatever the case may be. So I don't try to look at the game so much about me spending the money and getting a loss. But it is always nice when you don't spend the money and you don't get to see a loss in person. So
Facto.
there
Facto.
is that. Outside of that, in this week, because I just refuse to let the Buccaneers steal my joy anymore in this life, it was pretty chill. This is always a great time of the year because you get all these built-in 4-day weekends, like
Hmm.
right, like literally from like mid-December, mid to late December to like mid to late January.
Hmm.
You get at least three-day weekends. So, obviously, well, depending on when Christmas falls, obviously, but you have shortened weeks because
Yeah.
we had it on a Wednesday. But you could get, a 3-day weekend for Christmas, you get a 3-day weekend for New Year's, and you get a 3-day week for Martin Luther King Day. Gotta throw something on the grill for the doctor. Um,
Hmm.
that is the new thing now for me. It was already a thing, and that's how I know I'm creeping up in age because
Well, that shit
whenever I see
relaxing.
s- whenever I see something like a beautiful event or anything, it don't even really have to be beautiful. I mean, the Buccaneers could be playing football. The Buccaneers could be picking in the draft, and it's like, yeah, man, what could I put on the grill to commemorate this seemingly insignificant portion of my life? However, the doctor is not insignificant. I gotta watch King in the Wilderness again. I have to.
Mm.
I think I was a little immature when I was watching it before, so I'll do that in honor. Guys, if you can get the opportunity to read anything other than I have a dream speech. Nothing against that speech, but
Yeah. Check out
he's got some really cool stuff.
Letter from Birmingham Jail. That's always a very, very good one. It'll let you know
That's a
what type
personal favorite
of
of
time he
mine.
was on. What type
Yeah, when they try to make
of
it out like he was real docile and stuff, there's anger in those words, and I personally love to see it.
for sure.
And a big thing for me with him always is the fact that he was just so young doing a lot of this stuff, and I admire him immensely because the shit that my brain is like kind of starting to understand at 31, he was like on this same shit in his early 20s.
Yeah.
And it's still amazing to read that stuff knowing that how young he was because I'm older than what he was a lot of those things. So then it's like me looking back at a young guy like, damn man, you had it together early where I
Yeah.
know I didn't. And then it being in like the 60s. Whereas now we're in 2025 and a lot of the words are just real fresh to hear
Yeah.
from a young voice at that time. So that's always good. Anything on the doctor for you before we roll into any other things?
I mean, what you'll find when you listen to really any civil rights leader or just activists from those time periods is a lot of the stuff still applies. So it can be kind of frustrating to say the least. But at the point I'm at now, a lot of times I find it as inspiration, just because like they give you kind of language to express what you're feeling right now. Because a lot of it is still going on. It's still the same sentiments. It's still a lot of the same issues that they were dealing with back then. Um, at a certain point, to a lesser degree, maybe now to getting back up to those levels. But the urgency is getting back there to where we need to start speaking out about certain things. And a lot of times when you go back and listen to Fannie Lou Hamer or Malcolm or James Baldwin or Martin, of course, when you go back and listen to their words, it kind of gives you like a little bit of energy. It kind of give you a little bit of a boost. It's gonna frustrate you for sure because we shouldn't still be dealing with this stuff, but it's necessary in order for you to have like the language to kind of express yourself. And then also Martin Luther King got some fire movies on top of like the documentaries, like you said, King of the Wood. You got My Friend Martin. You
Tough,
got Self. You got
tough,
the Martin joint with Jeffrey Wright played him. Um,
tough.
yeah,
Shoot, the Bayard Rustin film
bingo.
on
That's another one. You know what I'm
on
saying?
Netflix. That's
So
a big one, and also too when you're talking about James Baldwin, and obviously that kind of what kind of brought me with by arresting them both being part of the LGBTQ community, which there wasn't one at the time.
and
Um,
tight and tight with the doctor, the
yeah,
Reverend Doctor.
yeah. I think it's cool too to hear kind of from like James especially, where it's like, and I gotta dive a little bit more, like, but like the fact that this is how he was talking, like being being openly, like you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, like and like it was very like taboo at the time, and he was cool with that. And yeah, I mean, he wasn't cool. I think he moved to Paris because of it, but he moved to France because of it. But at any rate, like being that way ahead of time, like
Mm-hmm.
way on top of it, where it was just like I could easily see where there's so many loud voices where you just minimize your own,
For
and
sure.
that's why it's important to put language to those thoughts. Because if you're anything like me, and then like I would think about yourself, there are a lot of conflicting views that you may have because of like different morals that you may have.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like majority of maybe the people we know or people our age are just on some other shit, whether it's due to ignorance, whether it's due to lack of information,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's just you just don't give a fuck. And it's like it's so easy to quiet my own voice um because I hear the other side being so loud about it. And so when you can read something where it's just you and the doctor, or it's just you and James Baldwin,
Mm-hmm.
y'all are having the conversation, then it's like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'm not nearly as ridiculous as people think I am. Like, there's obviously a
Oh,
guy that's very smart, that's was younger than me,
yeah, yeah,
that I know and I appreciate is
yeah,
thinking the same shit. So like, I'm actually on the right path because I'd rather be like these gentlemen than to be like maybe
for
other people
sure,
that are speaking in the other way.
for sure. Y'all get on. It's a lot of good resources on YouTube. A lot of great resources on YouTube for those that maybe don't have the attention span or the care to actually read. Hop on YouTube and just type in, MLK speech, MLK debate, maybe like you want to look at a Angela Davis or Stokely Carmichael. Like when you start looking up all these things and they're all interconnected in their ways, like the 6 degrees of separation. They're all interconnected and they're all working for the advancement of Black people. And
With different routes at times, and they all kind of end up at the same place, but they just have different ideology
mhm.
on the path to take.
And it's just good, energizing stuff. Once again, it's going to frustrate you, but a lot of times you need to be like poked and prodded and frustrated, and you need a mirror to be held up to maybe the things that you are doing or not doing for your community in order for you to actually get like that energy. So a lot of times it's just kinetic. those type of things are going to give you that spark. So for sure, I'm living in Atlanta. I kind of want to go to like a parade, or I kind of want to go to something that's celebrate. I want to see what that's like. I want to experience that.
Man,
And
especially in Atlanta.
yeah, exactly. Like I'm like actually, I kind of want to do that this year. Like
Yeah.
that's one of the things on my top priority list for this year is to engage in Atlanta more and to engage in like the historic.
Black historic Atlanta.
Yeah. Like I like
Beautiful.
yeah. So I'm like I'm not even gonna hold you. And this is the last time I'm gonna speak on this because I don't want to like put bad energy out there. I am a little scared just because of the current climate and everything going
Yeah.
on, and you never know. Like I don't like being in mass. I don't like being in big groups anymore. Like I don't like going to
Same.
like big events because I'm just like it's a target. On top of like
Especially big black events.
like on top of COVID and just like knowing how now everybody know how germs spread and everything like that. Like, okay, if I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna have to throw on a mask. Like, it's just like everything kind of seems like a hassle, but at the end of the day, you don't want to live out of like uh fear. I always quote this. It's always a quote in my mind. I might quote it later. From After Earth, Will Smith joint with his son. Danger is real, but fear isn't. Like there's a possibility that things like the danger is around the corner for sure. It is over there, but you don't have to be scared. Like
Mm-mm.
you don't have to be scared of. You don't have to be worried about what could possibly happen. Like you know that there's something that's over there that could happen. But at the end of the day, why are you stressing yourself out about something that's not happening? Like it's in your imagination. So last time I speak, I'm gonna express it and I'm gonna let it go because I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go, but y'all pray because
Yeah.
I don't like I think about the New Orleans incident. I'm thinking about everything that already popped off already. I'm just like, ugh. But so but
I
I
went
definitely
to
want to
a
get out there.
I went to an MLK parade in DC once, in
Mm,
the Anacostia neighborhood, which is the blackest part of DC, and beautiful, a
yeah,
beautiful occasion. They were doing a go-go version of Before I Let Go,
yeah,
and it was a lot of black people. It was in the corner of Good Hope and Martin Luther King. I think that was the intersection, Good Hope Road, Martin Luther King. The vibes were great. I also went to a restaurant called Florida Avenue Grill, where they have a booth there where Martin Luther King and his people they strategized and planned the March on Washington at that
yeah.
booth. So they have a plaque there, and I just was like, man, it was a little overwhelming, like being in that restaurant. And I don't know if I remembered if it was there before I went, but I know when I walked in, I saw the plaque, and there was people eating it there already. But I remember seeing it, and I was like, huh, like that's like obviously we're in DC, but the fact that this is where he decided to sit and eat at, and this is black restaurant near Georgetown, I think, and the food was good and the vibe was good. So yeah, definitely getting out there, and then y'all got his crib was out there in Atlanta,
Yeah,
and
for sure, for sure. I
all kind
want
of
I
dope
want to engage
stuff.
in that stuff, man. I want to get as much like soak in as much history as I can.
And then his church is still there. The church is still there. Shout out
Yep,
to Reverend Warnock
for
and
sure.
and all that. So that's good. Now, obviously, I kind of went over a little bit of my week, nothing too crazy on my end though. But the more important things is following week. You've obviously had quite a eventful
Boy,
week, if anything.
yeah. Um, I don't yet own a home. I'm currently renting one, but my God, like the things that have happened in this house already, I'm just like, boy, like home ownership is something else, man. Like
Oy, oy, oy.
being responsible for the crib is just something. It's a different demon altogether. And I can imagine that like it being yours is a little bit more rewarding, and it's not so much of the feeling of like, man, this ain't even my shit. Like, because I'm in here and like stuff
Because
is
it's
just
your
going.
shit now. Look.
Yeah, you feel me? So it's just like it's like, oh my God, like I'm still responsible for all this stuff, but it's just not mine. So it's definitely like, you gotta live somewhere. We're not necessarily in a position to buy yet. So it is what it is. But God, oh, so and then I don't know what it is. Like it made me be like, okay, maybe do I need to go into like this line of business? I had some plumbing issues or whatever. Why does it take 12 hours for you to get out here for like, dude? Do y'all not have workers? Is there a shortage of people to do like to handle this? Because if that's the
It's
case,
like
then
the AC man in Florida.
yeah, like is this so this is my next career path. This is my next career path because clearly we need it. Clearly they need it because there's only one guy apparently to service all of Eastern Atlanta. So it's like, what we doing? But so that was kind of my week is stressing about that and just not being able to do it. And then also, but a good thing happened. Karina, my wife held her class, her sewing class. It was really good. It was really rewarding.
Looked
It
like a
really,
great turnout.
bro, it was dope, man. And like I told her, like I have no notes, man. Like so, if you are in the Atlanta area, you can still sign up for classes. You can still join. They're like a la carte classes, so you don't have to like book the whole schedule out. I'm doing the whole course, but it's really good though, man. They teach you like they taught us kind of like the ins and outs of like how to sew, and I kind of already got a little bit of that because Karina was teaching me a while ago. But you actually get to walk away with something that you make. You actually get to make something. So
That's
on
dope.
top of you like gaining the skill, you get to put it to use, and then now you have something to take with you. And I think the next course, the next month, is going to be a duffel bag. So it's like, oh, all right, cool, bet.
Oh,
Because
you
now,
can make one.
yeah, because now I'm about to like design one that I want to make, and then I'm gonna make it in the class. So I'm like, all right, this is fire. Because not only, you know what I'm saying, you pay for the course, the fabric is provided by Fibers, my wife's company. And there's an instructor there to walk you through the process. So it's just like it's just a good vibe. It's a good vibe. It's good, like-minded people. You get to go in there and build community a little bit. So yeah, it was dope. So I'm proud of her, and it was actually a really good event. So yeah, that's pretty much the week right now. I still want to get out to go see Nosferatu, but who knows? We'll see. But yeah, that's my week, man. On top of this nonsense going on in the culture, that's
The
been it.
culture.
Yeah,
The
man.
culture. I'm almost triggered by that phrasing at this point.
I never thought they could get me to feel the way I feel about the culture, but I'm here.
Yeah. Conversations to be had about the culture. I will say this. I know I talked to you before about like sewing and like being able to make like little leather goods, like card holders and stuff like that.
hmm
Because those are like things I'm obsessed with. It's
hmm
like little card holders or little things like this. But it's
hmm
like it's so much cooler if you can just make it. Like you could take and make your own passport holder versus buying one from Herschel Supply. It means that much more. You could do all kind of cool stuff with it. You could take leftover shit.
hmm
And then just being obsessed with like I'm obviously obsessed with like clothing, but like the materials are the things that I enjoy. Like the things like
That you,
I've
yeah.
touched I've touched enough things, I've worn enough things where it's
Pause.
like, yeah, there's that. Where it's just like I love everything about garments.
Yeah.
Like everything. I'm obsessed with obviously the aesthetics, but just certain like this hoodie right now, I'm wearing it so much because it has shrunk and been worn and it fits perfect now. It's the best hoodie. It costed me nothing at all. It has my wife's face on the back of it. It is perfect. So now I will always be wearing this, and I'm always going to be wearing a hoodie, even though it's warm here in Tampa, Florida. Uniqlo has some good hoodies. And then when you can find good stuff for cheap, because Uniqlo just came out with these good hoodies and these good sweatpants, and the whole sweatsuit's $90,
There you go.
but it's just like a good material.
Especially when they
Um,
stock it, when it's not a drop, and they actually stock it, and I can just like eventually just buy all of them. Okay, which color is that? I'm gonna use that one. I'm gonna use the black one. I want
exactly.
the gray one. The green one. I want that like. Oh, that one got a stripe
Love
on
them.
it. Okay, I need that.
Hoodie's
Like,
only like I think $50. I think 50 for the hoodie, 40 for the pants. And it's like if you can find a good hoodie today for $50, man, you are
absolutely.
because
Which is
because
sickening,
everything's
but yeah,
starts at $100 now.
yeah.
Like just
50,
start there.
50 used to be the expensive hoodie, and now we've jumped. So it's like, nigga,
Yeah. Yeah, if you can find the if the hoodie's worth the damn, it's probably gonna start at $100.
yeah,
So thank you, Ronnie Feig. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah, for sure.
I think people who sew and make clothes are the coolest people on this planet because I love clothes. And how the fuck did that come from your brain?
Well, yep.
How did that come from your brain?
Yep.
There's nothing here. There was nothing here.
Yeah.
And you just took some shit and you took this machine and you made this. And it came
Hmm.
from your brain, and now I'm styling it, or I'm wearing it, or you're styling it. You know, like,
Factual.
wait, you could just come up with something in your head and then put that shit on. Amazing people, beautiful people. Shout out to obviously your wife. Shout out to Brandon. He does some good stuff with
Oh
the stuff.
yeah, 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 for sure. He's killing it. He's killing it.
Everybody who makes clothes or upcycles clothes, especially the upcyclers, y'all upcycle motherfuckers. There's a special place in heaven for y'all. It's definitely a special place in my heart for y'all. If y'all could take a bunch of old ass denim and turn it into some new ass shit, oh man, take all my old denim. Do what you want with it. I don't care. Just make sure you make a 34 or sorry, a 36, 34 for me and do whatever the fuck you want with the rest of the pants. I don't care. That's all I need if I'm gonna give y'all my stuff. All these old hoodies that I don't want, just breathe it some new life.
Yeah,
Shout
yeah,
out to y'all,
factual.
man. Coach Topia, they're doing that too. Coach came up with this line where they're taking a bunch of upcycled stuff and they're doing a lot of cool stuff. Coach had this crazy resurgence. A lot of people were kind of making fun of Coach. Now Coach is back with cool stuff
It's them shoes.
with all the monograms.
Yeah, it's them brown
Yeah,
monogram shoes that used to have in Dillard's. That's what
yeah. They're back.
they
They're back now. So shout out
Yeah,
to
for
Coach
sure.
Topia and all the upcyclers and the people that know how to work sewing machines. That used to be
Mm.
a thing. My mom had a sewing machine and she used to do stuff like that. And then I have a pillow on my bed that my grandma made for me when I was like one, I think. So old ass pillow.
Make sure your buttons is right, and your button fall off. They got a thing full of buttons, and be like, "Oh, what you mean this shirt ain't no good?" Go on.
Or
So that
hemming or
protect.
taking stuff in,
Oh yeah, that's what I want to learn
sewing a
how to do.
hem.
That's
Ooh,
that's really what I want to learn how to do, because I got some
if
pants
you
right
could
now
be
where
a
I'm like,
tailor, oh my God.
yeah,
What
for sure.
size is it? My size. Literally.
Yeah,
I don't know
exactly.
what size it is. They
Exactly.
just made it to fit me.
Yeah,
This is the
exactly.
Robert side, exclusively made for the boy. Not the boy, but myself. I don't think we necessarily have to get into the boy just yet. Is there anything specific, unless you want to get into the boy? Man,
um, let's hit it.
all right. The boy, Drake, he is flailing. He's flailing. And he's rasping at straws on his way down, and he's actually suing for defamation. I do find it ironic that this was the thing people were like, well, why isn't Drake suing for defamation? And then now that Drake's suing for defamation, it's like there's no suing in hip hop. But you know, whatever. I get it. I totally understand it. I will say that I am inherently a contrarian when it comes to where everybody's going with things, only because I personally like to find the like the more compelling conversation. And a lot of times there's not really anything compelling to just being like this is not a good move. And as much as I just don't really care that much about whether it is a good or a bad move, I think there is like actual compelling conversation here that just doesn't just start with ridicule if
Hmm.
people want to be nuanced, that
Hmm.
is. And so, um, yeah, I think that there is something to be said if, in fact, if you're losing and then you find out that somebody's fudging shit or using performance enhancing drugs. I mean, this happens in boxing all the time. I think, who was it? Devin Haney was fighting Ryan Garcia, and Ryan Garcia beat him the fuck up. And his blood came back bad. So he had some shit in his blood. And it's like, hey, man, this shouldn't count as a loss, and you should lose all kind of money. And we go back to it because that's against the rules. Now, the only thing I would say that's a little bit different here is there isn't any defined rule here that says you can't do that. It's just unethical, right?
Hmm.
Like you probably shouldn't be able to do that, but there's no real rules against it. However, I personally would be unhappy if I lost and then I found out there was any opportunity that there could have been some funny shit at play. And if you don't think that that's something you would do, then I just think you're being disingenuous. Because if you found out that you took a L to the inflated, like it was an inflated L,
Hmm.
then you would be like, nah, we need to add an asterisk to that or something. Like, this is not fair.
And that's where I think people are trying to argue culture over what, like, just take a step back and ask yourself about the merits of what he's saying. Don't ask yourself whether it's corny, whether it's lame, whether that's not what we do in hip hop. Don't ask yourself no question like that. Just look at it on its face for what he's saying and what he's suing for. Yes, it's corny. Yes, it's lame. Yes, it's whack. Yes, we don't do that. Yes, he's being a sore loser. Yes to everything like that. That's
Fair.
neither
Fair.
here nor there. Like, cool. At the end of the day, like you said, because I was talking to John about this, and I had to go do my research and make sure I wasn't just talking outside of my neck. If you are in a boxing match and you get your ass kicked and you suffer, career-ending injuries,
Concussion.
life-ending injuries, you are like suffering more than you should because the people who should have stopped the fight did not stop the fight. You sue. Case in point, a court of claims, family of boxer who died after fight settles with the entertainment group for his death. They got a $24 million settlement because at the end of the day, this person should still be alive. Like, so if we take that example and bring it to the Drake of it all, right? Essentially what he's showing is y'all put y'all thumb on the scale for something that y'all know is a lie and it's going to affect me and my reputation. Now, I don't know if he's going to I don't know if he can necessarily prove or whatever that like the whole, negotiation, they're trying to drive the price down angle, like contract negotiations, and they're trying to ruin his brand to drive the price down. Like, I don't have nothing on that angle or whether or not he's even going to win or not. If we agree to fight, me and you agree to battle, to agree to duke it out, and there is a corporate entity that kind of has vested interest in making sure that everybody makes it out all right, and they don't, well, you could sue that. You were supposed to protect me.
You should sue.
That's literally like they didn't do their job because at the end of the day, they're allowing you to suffer more than you should. A fight is a fight. Like, yeah, it's entertainment. They're sparring. Yeah, there's gonna be a winner. There's gonna be a loser. But in the event that you suffer more than you should have, and we see that it was because of negligence or because somebody was putting their thumb on the scale or shaving points or doing whatever, like you said, y'all at least got to give me an asterisk. Like, at least, at the minimum. And then there's another angle to this that I really don't think, well, I know people aren't paying attention to, that I am 100% in on with Drake on this. And this may not necessarily even be with Drake, but this whole angle that we don't sue or jam people up for their lyrics or for their art. I don't subscribe to that belief. I think that if we can link what you're saying to a crime or to any type of harm, then we mark that down as something that we don't need to be dealing with, right? Now, there's always been a conversation about the negativity in hip hop and all the negative aspects of hip hop, from the stealing people's girls to the hyper capitalistic nature of it to the like gun talk and all that to the drug use, and who benefits from all that versus who's harmed from that. Because we know black youth is harmed from that. But the white man get paid off of all of that. So if there is an event or if there is now a lawsuit in which the white man that gets paid off of all of that will now have to pay for somebody else's, for allowing somebody to say something that was harmful, I'm in on that. Because now that means they won't be pumping money into things that are harmful. Because now they have to think twice about it because
They have to
somebody
eat it.
could sue you for allowing this to be put out. Somebody could sue you for coming out and rapping about drugs that you don't actually use, and now somebody, baby, done got caught up with this fentanyl stuff because all these rappers are trying to influence them to use. So whether or not it's class action lawsuits or whatever it is, but now there's accountability. So it might be inadvertent. I don't know. But that's my hope for the whole thing is like, bro, this is an opportunity now to where we can actually hold the people that make the most money, that make the most profit, accountable for spewing BS into the community, right? So it's like, that's something that we should all be on board with. But some kind of way, when it comes to this hip hop culture, when it comes to the culture, we view hip hop the same way that white people view freedom of speech. Where it's just like we just lose all type of common sense when it comes to freedom of speech must be protected. Well, the art, the culture of hip hop must be respected at all times. When we know at the end of the day, at its current state, King Von, Fulio, like Dolph, what are we doing? What are we doing? So it's like the young boy, the basketball player that they just like 16 years
Dude,
old.
kid from Philly. Yeah.
They got murked, and then you look at it, and it's like he was making songs about ops, and
A day later.
so what? Like, guys, as consumers, we got to start being responsible for this stuff. And everybody's talking about all the angles that the lawsuit is taking, saying that like, oh, Drake is using the cover art of his house with all the pedo signs on it, with all the pedo icons on it, and using that as evidence to be like, this is harmful.
Target.
It
And then
is.
his house got shot up.
It is harmful. And you can't say,
See, I didn't even think about that because that was a thing. And then now, granted, I, I just hate when people are obtuse. Like I hate when people are obtuse because it's like, look, if this was any other situation where somebody was talking crazy and then a house got targeted, regardless of whether or not the two incidents had anything to do with it, because what they're saying is this was a different situation,
right,
but it had nothing to do with this, but the timing was odd. I'll tell you this. We always in the culture always talk about how being responsible between the leaders of the camps are important because the chances are the leaders of the camps are never going to get into it.
right.
It's always these crash out fans that get into it or the henchmen that get into it. So even if it had nothing directly related to this particular beef, his house did get shot at literally after
After
the thing was posted.
within
So
a week,
if any other instance, that person would be at least a person of interest in a situation like
put it
that.
like this. Put it like this. We don't know what the results of that was or what happened or what came back, but we know that Drake got pulled into questioning about XXXTentacion was a person of interest. Nobody knows why. Could it be some lyrics? Could it, like then you got him in the Baka Night. You got all these angles in which, hey, clearly people are willing to crash out for all of this stuff that they're saying in their songs. So at what point are we gonna be like, it's not just art? It's not. We can't sit up
And
here
it
and
hasn't been just been art for a while.
we can't claim that it's a culture and it's something to be respected and it's something to be honored and it's something to be revered. And then when we have adverse effects from it, we
Just
no,
chalk it
like
up to the fact that's
that's
hip hop.
it's just art. It's just art, y'all. It's just art. And it's like, okay, Young Thug just got what 20? How long his probation? Like it's massive
Was it
amount of
10
probation.
years?
It's a 10-year probation off of a RICO charge in which some people that were lined up with him are like pled guilty, like were found guilty of like murder and attempted murder and all these assault charges and all this. And it's like, it's not just music.
And then
It's
the only thing we care about is whether or not Gunna told. Like that's the only thing that really matters, not the fact that maybe he commissioned some bullshit and got Gunna wrapped up in something where Gunna's like, I'm a rapper, dog. Like I make music. Like, and then now I'm caught up
yeah,
with y'all
no,
shenanigans because
no.
y'all are street dudes and people actually got harmed because of it because that's why Lucci's in jail. Like,
You just don't, like, at a certain point you got to be responsible as a consumer, and you need to be responsible as an artist. So at the end of the day, once again, this isn't an indictment on Kendrick because he's suing UMG, which is smart. But even to the Kendrick point of the stuff that he's saying, you got to understand how that's going to open you up for litigation. You got to understand how that's going to, charge your audience to possibly harm somebody else. You got to understand when you putting real targets on people's back. And that's been the whole time when we've been talking about why don't they understand, or we think about conservatives and all this free speech nonsense that everybody's going off on, that it's like, bro, y'all are yelling fire in a theater. Y'all not yelling fire in the theater. Y'all saying, stop those niggas over there. They must be stopped at all costs. They over there eating your cats and your dog. People are spewing lies and putting targets on people's back, and y'all understand it then. But when somebody says, hey, I'm being targeted and attacked, and now my bottom line is affected off of some lie, and y'all that were supposed to protect me didn't protect me, now we don't understand? Like,
yeah,
you
they were
have to be
making
accountable for your words.
they were talking about taking like Drake being like, I guess people are crying wolf because he's talking about taking his kid out and they're comparing it to Kendrick, but Kendrick actually, and like, maybe the lies that Drake told about who Kendrick's child's real dad is. And it's like, look, Kendrick said in the first record of GNX that he's out here looking to give people money to crash out. And once again, people understand where it's like, if that's what Drake's doing, which who knows if that's real, but if that's what he's doing, we understand that that's not okay. But Drake had his house shot up, and like actually had his house shot up, and he's saying, "Hey, I have to take my son out of school." It's like, I think that checks out. Like, I'm not gonna be upset with that. And look,
I'm not a Drake fan. It's like,
even if it does, even if
just
it doesn't check out, I would say that I'm probably gonna milk it if someone shot at my house. Like if someone shot at my house, I'm milking it. Like I haven't had a moment of peace. I can't even go to Toronto right now. I
yeah.
gotta be in a
You,
remote
people
location.
slip and fall in a Walmart and milk it. People slip and fall in a parking lot of a grocery store and milk it. And you mean to tell me your house gets shot up and you can't milk it? Potentially is costing you M's and you can't milk it? Like, somebody, bro, you're not calling me no pedophile. I'm not letting it ride. I'm not letting that ride. I'm never letting that ride. I don't care what it is. And people, like, we act like people haven't gone too far in rap before. When Jay-Z said that thing about the condom on Nas's car seat,
Baby
his
seat.
mom jumped in. You going too far, bro. Like,
Told him to apologize.
had to up. So we can't act like there isn't history of people going too far and having to say something and wind up apologizing. Like,
As many times as Hove gets at people for saying stuff about his wife, like we've got video of, and we've got stories where Hove is like, where the people on the other side of it are like, Hove came up to me and was like, "Listen, I heard what you were saying." Because you gotta really answer for that. Like you're not
you
just about
have
to be
to.
saying certain
You have
things
to.
and then I don't see you and they'll be like, "Yeah, I heard you too."
Yeah.
Like, oh shit. Because I think Fab said he maybe said not anything crazy about Beyonce, but he got
But
a call, he got a text, you
that's
know.
and that's just really what it is, man. So once again, Drake is lame, Drake is corny, Drake is whack, Drake is like, all right, he messing up with the rules of engagement. But then the other aspect of this that also is blowing my mind, not to belabor any of this stuff because I'm sure we're all tired of it. But if Drake before the beef was expressing how he didn't feel like black people take ownership of him, like black people see him as one of us, right? He said that they don't with
Multiple times.
like he's expressed this before, right? So then we get the then number two biggest rapper, of our time, uh, making it clear that that's really how everybody feel, that he not black, he not a part of the culture, he not like. Why then must he still adhere to the culture that has you just rejected him? Like, he already said, I feel like y'all don't take ownership over me. I feel like y'all actually don't y'all don't look at when Billboard says the top artist of this decade has been Drake. Y'all don't look at that as the top artist of this decade is a black man. That the man that says that, and then you say they not like us, and sing it from the top of y'all lungs, and make this whole thing about him having a white. Y'all forget about the FBA, the FBA angles that everybody was taking. Y'all forget about the Canada angles that everybody was taking. Y'all forget about the Jewish mom angles that everybody was taking. Why do I still need to follow y'all rules when y'all have completely shunned me? I don't want to play with y'all no more. I don't want to be in y'all game no more. I'm over it. And you would do the same thing if it happened to you. Like, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. And matter of fact, I'm finna tell them what y'all doing over here and mess up y'all game. Guys, it doesn't make any sense. That's why we was telling y'all that's why on this show we were telling y'all might want to slow up. Because outside of the mixed people that don't got 4 black grandparents getting hurt and catching strays, this nigga is a real person. He's not just a celebrity. And now we see the effects. Now we got a lawsuit. Will he win? I don't know. But we can't deny the merit of the lawsuit. They said he's being anti-Semitic with the colonizer line. Well, maybe that line wasn't anti-Semitic, but if you go back and listen to Kendrick's catalog, if you know anything about 5%ers, Hebrew Israelites, Nation of Islam, if you know anything about any of this stuff, it's in the music. The same way if you listen to Dre
Been leaning
Electronica,
that way.
if you listen to Dre Electronica and 444, you kind of understand where Jay-Z's leaning on a lot of these things, whether he says it or not. Which is why we all understand the Kyrie Irving situation. Like, guys, this is a real thing. It's not just because he's a Pulitzer Prize winner. He can get around saying stuff when he really want to get around saying stuff. Like, he can word it in a way that I didn't say that. That wasn't that.
And
Like,
he never has to answer for him, so he's gonna always skate. It's the same reason people were giving him some criticism about the Harper's Bazaar interview, where it's like
here we go again.
in any other situation, if you call somebody a pedophile, you kind of have to answer for that, and he just kind of danced around it. And look, if you guys are okay with that from coming from your artist, then that's fine. But you guys, y'all require, especially the ones that want their music to be loaded with, type of themes. You would question this from anyone else.
We're giving the substance rapper a pass on having to substantiate his claims. Like, it doesn't make any sense. He's the one that says, I'm like, basically that's like just living his raps. These are the rappers that are living their raps. These are the guys. This set, that big 3, are the guys that are truly rapping about where they're living because they're just rapping about life. Kendrick's rapping about taking his kid to school. Kendrick's rapping about praying and fasting. Kendrick's rapping, on top of him rapping about being the best out, he's rapping about therapy. He's rapping about the harm that he may have caused his wife. Real life. But now we don't need him to keep it real on this one. When it's actually harm to be had, and we everybody's like, oh well, you got to prove that people actually think you're a pedophile. That's not hard to prove. There are articles about it at this point. What are we talking about? There are myriad think pieces about it. Like, there's so many op-eds about Drake being a predator. That's all off of Twitter journalism, and it's like real journalism based on things seen on Twitter, not on things seen or written, not on real cases or nothing like that, just off Twitter shit. And it sparked, this last era for the Dogs era, because once again, Drake earned all the smoke. We've been critical of Drake. I don't have no problem. Like we've been critical of Drake, but this one is kind of like, y'all was doing too much, and we was telling y'all was doing too much.
Yeah.
It's like,
And for someone who I would probably say the resident Drake fan on this podcast, um, me and Pat was talking about For All the Dogs. Was that the one with the Megan joint?
yeah,
Yeah, we were talking about that. I'm guessing that was a couple years ago at this point. and we were both just kind of off it. We were like, yeah, this is
Hell,
it.
that shit
Like
is shit.
this is not the one. Like I can't. Like we are already firmly entrenched in our Megan the Stallion support, and you are siding with the ops. Same with LeBron. Same with LeBron. LeBron was bumping Tory, and we both are massive LeBron fans, and we're just like,
Yeah, man,
this wasn't it,
misstep,
man.
brother, misstep, big misstep, big misstep. And it's just like, yeah, man, you got to be able, like, the same way y'all are like being critical of Drake because he earned it. Y'all need to be critical of Kendrick because he earned it. Y'all need to be critical of like this case. You can't just culture your way out of everything, guys. Like it's stupid. Like it's dumb. I'm gonna keep it a being, and like I love hip hop to death. I love it. It is giving me like once again, it's giving me language and giving me like a means and a tool to express myself. But at the end of the day, it's not a thing. Like it's not. It ain't paying no. It ain't that shit ain't paying nobody bills for real. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that don't. As we can see, hip hop ain't making no political changes, no material changes for black people. Niggas get
Yeah.
niggas get rich off of hip hop and then open up 60 wing stops and pump more garbage into like. And I love Wingstop, but we don't need more Wingstops.
Hey, niggas get money in hip hop and then can't speak critical on shenanigans coming from a particular
Like, come
uh
on, man, what we
political
doing?
party, and it's like, oh, we just gonna pretend like prior to 2016 everybody was very, very specifically in one direction, and then after 2020 everybody's just like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, nigga, straight with me. It's like, wait, what? You was
Man, man,
vehemently one way in 2016, and just 4 years? It's just like, oh,
yeah.
okay,
So so
okay.
so so I'm seeing now that hip hop more so instead of being one of our strongest black institutions of empowerment and everything else, because it really is, it's also sometimes to our detriment because we are just trying to empower ourselves to make as much to be capitalist and make as much money as possible and not change the material conditions for the communities that we actually come out of. Outside of Atlanta, what's going on? Like Memphis ain't getting nothing. New York still
Which,
like
which goes to show you that at the end
Harlem
of the day,
gentrified now.
your proximity to whiteness is ultimately where this capitalism shit will take you, or this hyper capitalism take you. And unfortunately, Kendrick's he's at fault of this himself.
Only you like being famous. Does the Super Bowl twice. Like, how many fashion shows he finna perform at? Don't give me that. Don't give me that. J. Cole is trying to play basketball in Ghana. Like, what are we talking about? Like, you could very well not be doing none of this shit.
If you're really about the shit you're talking about, then, and look, I never want to count people's pockets or
Go
tell
get
them
your
not to get
bag.
money,
Yeah,
because I
go.
always think it's the right thing to do. But don't convince me that you're here for a higher
I'm
power
above it.
when actually you like to fly on planes and you talk about guns. Like he's had a lot of gun rap, and look, I love gun bars. I'm not gonna pretend like I don't like gun bars. I love gun raps. I love shoot 'em up raps. But the
Some
conscious guy can't tell me that he's up in the highest metric, or 662 is gonna make you plank. You can't tell me that's not the same guy. Like that isn't him. It sounds like he's playing a role. Maybe he's not. I don't know. They think he actually killed somebody. I don't know.
I mean, I think he did too. So.
Maybe.
Maybe,
Maybe
maybe,
he's
maybe,
maybe he's
maybe,
it's possibly.
maybe. He definitely killed Drake, but at the end
Yeah,
of the
for sure.
day,
This is a ghost that we're looking at this point,
yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, yeah. The man's a shell of himself. He's freaking out and he's doing stuff that he probably shouldn't be doing. But at the end of the day, just cause the nigga wasn't supposed to tell, don't mean you ain't do some shit that was supposed to get told on it. Like
Yeah. Prayers to all parties involved.
facto.
Also, obviously, there's prayers to California, a place that's near and dear to Kendrick's heart, especially his area. Not quite where he's at, but yeah, there's obviously been a lot of wildfires. I think we talked about that last week, but yeah, it doesn't seem to be getting any easier. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean that's one of the tough things. Once again, we're seeing all these record climate events and everything like that going on, man. You got, like you said, hell on one side of the country and tundra on the next side of the country. Like I said, 4 months ago, you get 2 crazy ass hurricanes coming out of the Gulf. Like, bruh, it's a
And
lot.
one that we never seen go towards Mexico and then swing back
It's a
towards
lot,
you.
family. Then you got to think. And in the middle, like it's going up, and the hurricanes are lasting longer than they should. So they hitting areas that don't normally get them. Like they don't got no type of infrastructure for it. You know,
Yeah,
with
'cause
the
I never heard of it hitting the fucking Yucatan before.
my
Never heard of
boy,
that.
and you know, and then with these fires, man, like you know, some of it is, of course, like the celebrity, you know, neighborhoods, and then some of the celebrity communities, and then some of it is black communities. Like it's really a thing that's like it don't matter who you are, it's taking you out. And it's sad to see it get politicized, and it's sad to see it get politicized as everything is still on fire. Um,
Yeah. So we put
it's
the fires out first, guys, before y'all start posturing.
it's sad to see lies being spewed. It's just all around like everybody's just like knows how things are supposed to go and what should be done and how you can do it and what, and it's just like, bro, all of this stuff is unprecedented. All of this stuff is like we ain't, but it's uncharted territory for damn near everybody that's involved, man. And it's like I had to check myself because when a lot of the celebrities were doing it, I I'm still in Luigi mode a little bit, where it's like, well, like I don't know how to help you. But then I received some conviction on that. You know what I'm saying? Not only because you know some of the neighborhoods were black neighborhoods, but just because like you know people are suffering, and it don't matter. Like at the end of the day, you know whether it's millionaires or you know working class people, um, suffering is suffering,
Yeah,
and
because JJ Redick lost his house.
yeah,
A
for
house that
sure.
he was renting. And
And,
that and like you could see it clearly, like he was in shambles. And this is a guy that we've kind of grown to like within the last few years from his pod and everything. So it kind of meant a little bit more to me where it's like, oh, now obviously he's the coach.
yeah,
And seeing him as the coach and seeing him distraught and his kids, and we know his kids
yeah.
from
What
the pod. And
like it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. It really is because you hate to see people lose everything. You know, you got insurance companies dropping people months before. You know, it's just like one of those things where it's like, bro, like this is why the country is in the shape that it's in because there's nothing being done to protect the citizens. There's nothing being done to protect the people of this country in any type of way. It's just like people are just getting away with murder for lack of a better, you know, word. Like people are just getting away with all of this stuff. And they're taking advantage of you. You pay into these plans, you pay into these premiums, and then they drop you, and then disaster strikes, and there's no recourse.
then they blame it on black people.
And in some kind of way, they find a black lady to blame for doing something that they. How does Donald Trump skirt responsibility for cutting, you know, the pandemic response team and the budget? Yet he skirts responsibility for that. Yet we're holding Karen Bass to the highest level of scrutiny for cutting 17 M's off of 200 and what $19 million budget. So
And apparently
less
that
than
was
less than
and
10%.
and apparently that's actually kind of misleading. Apparently there was more money that was allotted after the actual budget was situated,
Yeah. So
and so it ended up actually increasing the budget. So they have the resources that they want, and that's why I kind of put that Rogan clip in there because Rogan is the arbiter of truth, and he said that I guess he had somebody on his podcast that was basically saying like, if it happens, if you get the right mixture, the right cocktail of shenanigans, ain't shit that's gonna happen. It's gonna that can help this. It's gonna burn the whole shit up, and it's gonna stop when it wants to stop. And
and that's what I don't think people understand. Like we are living in the Titanic times right now, but it's all because of us not doing what we need to do to protect the environment. Like ultimately, we're
yeah,
trying to ensure our own existence on this rock. That's what we're doing when we talk about protecting the environment. It's just insurance because the world ain't going nowhere. It might get us up out of here though. It's gonna burn up your house. it's gonna knock over your house with these winds. It's gonna flood your house. It's gonna do all it's gonna make your life unlivable. The world isn't going anywhere. The world isn't stopping. Just like them fires not stopping until they stop. It's just not happening. Like, so it's like you have to do everything you can do to be preventative and to be proactive about, you know, just kind of saving the environment, for lack of better words. Again, like, but if you could just wait for some shit to happen and then blame somebody, and that's typically somebody black, then that's what we gonna do. And unfortunately, that's just become the trend in this country, man. So it's just like, well, it's always been. So it's just like, it's frustrating. But once again, prayers to those people, and hopefully they can get, some sort of people already price gouging on rents. Like, it's just absurd, bro. The greed in this country is insane, and we don't understand it. That's just what's killing us. We're being a cancer to ourselves with this capitalism stuff because we don't know when to turn it off. We don't know when you should reduce the rent in order to get somebody in, because you know what? Everybody's on hard times. They only finna get $700 off of FEMA because the people who keep complaining about the $700 FEMA checks won't vote to raise the $700 FEMA checks. So it's just like, everybody's hands are tied, but they're really not. Really not. At the end of the day, we're kind of choosing this. So I don't know. It feels like we put a brick down on the gas pedal to like destruction. And all you gotta do is pick the brick up off the gas pedal. And we can start wheeling this thing back in. But if picking the brick up is too hard of an ask, then there's only really one way for this thing to end. And we've seen, civilizations crash and topple before. So we wouldn't be anything special in that regard. And that's what kind of looks like it's happening right now.
Prayers to the whole left coast. California is such a beautiful place. Um,
Absolutely.
so and I guess the Lakers are still playing. The Heat and all that, their issues over
How
there.
lighten that? How are you dealing with this Jimmy Butler situation?
I don't know. I've been disenchanted with Pat for a little while now, but also Jimmy's Jimmy. So it's hard, like I'll be honest, I'm just never siding with the establishment of anything. It's just hard for me. I'm just not wired that way anymore. I'm never, ever, ever, ever siding with the establishment. That's just not something I'm interested in doing today. But Jimmy is an asshole. But I also just believe sometimes you just gotta be an asshole.
Sometimes what you say?
And
Your dad said sometimes you got to be indignant.
yeah, sometimes you and I want to tweak it. I actually tweet. I think I said this to Alice the other day because I was like, my dad said that, and I think he just likes to be mad. You want to be indignant, and I think he just likes to be mad. I just think that you just cannot be afraid of a fight, because the other side, especially establishment, if you're fighting against, they're not going to play fair. So when you hear stuff of like, there's an accounting error and he don't get his check for 10 days, it's like, all right, bro. Why shouldn't I come up here with a bat like a ice cube and just start swinging on shit? Because look, we could be going through whatever we going through. The check need to be on time, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, and look, maybe this was Jimmy's actual idea of being it, because who knows? All we can go off of is what we hear. And I always know that the establishment has an incentive to make the player look bad. This is also another reason not to harp back on it. It's going to be hard for me to side with UMG because they have all the incentive to make anybody they don't like to look bad. And it's usually not someone that looks like us that's doing it against someone that looks like us that's receiving it. And I just always am going to be empathetic over the millionaires before the billionaires. It's just going to be hard for me to do it. And so with hip hop, like I always say that people have their most Republican takes when it comes to sports. Now it seems like it's hip hop too, because in sports, people be talking about players taking pay cuts and all this other dumb shit. Fuck that. Let them worry about the pay cut.
Yeah,
I'm not taking no pay
gotta
cut.
figure out
You're the money guy.
you gotta figure out how to balance your books.
Nigga,
I'm
y'all
not
figure
taking the
it
cut.
that.
That's your job to
What
figure
for? I
out.
gotta.
Yeah,
People
no.
talking about giving money back. I'm not giving no money back. Are you crazy? To billionaires? I'm not giving you no hometown discount. I'm not. I am a mercenary. I am going where the money is, period. And if that means Jimmy got to get the fuck up out of here, then that's fine because he is look, somebody gonna pay him. Somebody gonna pay him. Everybody be talking about the NFL, and it'd be cheaper for you to keep him. It's always cheaper for you to keep him because when he got the motivation in another uniform to come play y'all and give it to you every night, he don't get up for no other games except for it's just like the Giants and Saquon Barkley. When Saquon Barkley went to Philadelphia and the Giants didn't want to pay him, the last thing you want to do is let a disgruntled employee go to the division leader or the division, another team in the division, because he gets to play you twice a year. That means at least 2 games he gonna give it everything he got, and he gave it everything he got almost to the #1 rushing title. And it was the fuck you season. You don't want to give these players any more motivation than they need. So I could almost really don't give a fuck what Jimmy talking about or what Pat talking about. I'm probably just gonna side with Jimmy because ain't nothing worse than Jimmy can't be doing anything worse than the establishment could be doing.
And at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I understand the frustration because as a fan of the team, why haven't y'all got him another? Like, why didn't y'all make the little deal
Everyone's
happen?
been literally everyone's complaining about how Pat
Like,
has been washed, and now we're gonna side with Pat again. Like
no, no,
Pat
you
been
you
losing
you let D Wade
for
walk. You let you've been fumbling. You've been fumbling for years, for at least a decade now.
And the Heat fans are collective on that Pat is a problem. But Jimmy's reputation precedes him, and so that's where people end up being split. Not me. I'm not really that split. It's like, yeah, Jimmy's an asshole, but we knew he was an asshole when we signed him.
Yeah,
Like
and now he's our asshole. So pay him
he's for sure. He's and so and
and get him some help. Like,
I'm always gonna push for him to get that bread. So yo, if that means you gotta get that bread, dog.
for sure.
I'm never going to. Mickey Arison owns fucking Carnival Cruises. He's fine.
Right. Okay. So because I hadn't asked you about that. I was actually kind of curious. So no good segue here. These niggas banning TikTok. It
Oh,
is
he said he wasn't.
it
He said
is
he wasn't.
the Supreme Court upheld it, and they were like, nah, it's going through. If they don't get it together by Sunday,
Oh,
if they don't get it together by Sunday, it's up.
okay.
Yeah. So
What's the Chinese at? Red Note.
Red Note, and
Yeah,
they
baby,
said
tell me.
that,
Red Note.
and they said that was next. That's also could be banned as
Yes,
well.
sir.
So just to let you know, once again, guys, voting matters. Voting matters. And and the thing is, of course we know, everybody is serving the empire. Of course we know everybody's like, at the interest of this imperial, like we all know that. Yeah, both parties do XYZ, but you got one party that is just like completely, completely captured by like they have no desire to make your life any better. None whatsoever. And then you have another one that is, similarly captured and similarly disinterested with finding ways to make your life better, but they will cap insulin and they will find ways to try to get you a program to get you into a house. Right? Little things.
See,
Little things.
they'll tell you civil rights matters and that everybody should be able to do whatever they want to do
Little
without
things.
being restricted. Yeah.
But then you got somebody that's just all for the restrictions. All for the restrictions. You can't get no abortion. And guess what? Now you can't make a TikTok about the fact that you can't get an abortion.
You can't watch porn.
You can't watch porn. And guess what? Now you can't make a TikTok about how this is going to cause more harm to the sex workers, the sex work industry. This is going to cause more harm to kids that may be sex trafficked. This is going to cause more harm in general for everybody involved because now you're going to make these hub sites and these all these other sites that don't have as much protections as a Pornhub or as like these places that you have to verify before you can post. Now you finna make it so everybody is rushing to these sites, these secondary tier sites. And guess what? They can't even make TikToks about it no more and get the information out there and try to sway public opinion because public opinion is being swayed. And instead of you acknowledging these issues and try to solve them as a government and try to meet your citizens where their actual concerns are, you say Chinese interference. But we proved that Facebook had Russian interference. Cool. What are we doing? Like, what is going on? But at the end of the day, it's what you guys voted for. So I don't know how to help you. Everybody getting on there. Everybody getting on there crying. All them white folk getting on there crying. I seen so many white women tears about realizing how screwed up everything is and what am I gonna do because I'm an influencer and I don't know how I can make this money without TikTok and I'm just... We saw how you voted. For every two of y'all crying, one of y'all voted against your interest. So your husband can put a bid in on it and potentially get it. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? Stop it. Vote your interest. Be politically engaged in things that, I don't know, help the citizenry of the American, like, that help the Americas, and then we'll get somewhere. But until y'all realize that, once again, you put a brick on the gas pedal, headed towards a brick wall or a cliff or whatever catastrophe you want to put on the end of it, until you realize that you put that brick there and pull that brick the fuck off, it's just what it is. They're going to be TikTok bans, free speech my ass. You just saw the journalists get pulled out of the press conference. Free speech my ass. You go in there and start making they making red notes about how the price of bananas, you can get 2 pounds of bananas in Shanghai for 94 cents. Nigga, organic bananas out of Trader Joe's is 20.
Aren't they like 90 a piece? 90 each?
It's like 70 each
Per banana,
per
yeah.
banana. Now you over here doing math because you don't want to get the whole bunch because you like, oh, my budget is, I got, all right.
And where's the non-organic ones, the 40-cent ones? Let me get them.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
And bananas be spoiling too fast for you
I
to buy
can't eat
2
all
pounds
these
of them shit.
bananas.
That means I'm only eating bananas.
What we doing, bro? What we doing? Banana lunch, banana breakfast, banana dinner, bananas
Banana in the
Foster.
smoothie. Yeah. Oh.
What?
Is it table side?
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me, nigga. Bananas
If
kind of
it's table
fire.
side.
Banana pudding. You gotta wait till they get a little brown. Banana bread. Hell
A
yeah.
shit show.
But guess what? All your banana delectables is a lot cheaper in China. And now these niggas is realizing it because they happen to go over to Red Note. And Red Note is like, hey, Americans, heard they're banning our app. Thank you for coming over here. Let's tell you how terrible you have it. Like,
I love that.
hey, high five. A happy voting. Did you get your I voted sticker? This one is bipartisan, so less on that. But once again, guys, it's just like the reason that we're hurtling to these things at breakneck speed is because we're just completely captured, and us as consumers and as citizens just refuse to hold ourselves accountable. And now you got Elon Musk telling you that, you're going to have to suffer a little bit for us to make America great again. But the suffering a little bit is them continuing to keep the minimum wage at $7.25. And the new House Treasury advisor, who is wholly unqualified, said that he has no interest in raising the minimum wage. Not even the 10 bones. I can't even get 3 more bones, right? You can't even get 120 per shift.
2 1/4.
You can't get it. You can't get an extra 120 at the end of the week for working your 40 hours. Nope. Nothing. Congratulations.
You played yourself. All right. What's next? What's next?
I guess
Is any fun stuff?
any fun stuff.
Real quick, Michelle Obama not coming to inauguration.
That's fun.
I don't
She
give a
said,
fuck,
you know
man.
what? Maybe not high anymore. Maybe not go high no more. Maybe let's just keep the same energy. I don't rock with y'all, so I'm not coming.
I don't usually do the resolution things. I just kind of make the decision on my own. And one of the things I mentioned this before about 2024 is just like I'm just not into like overextending my reach that much anymore. Like all because people don't hold that cachet. Like it's what have you done for me lately? And that's the only thing that matters. If you think that somebody's like, oh, well, I reached out to this person 4 or 5 times, they should reach out to me. All it's going to do is end up you being alone and thinking that you should deserve a certain thing. And that person is literally just basing it on how they feel. And they seem to be the better off. Like they just kind of, move on the beat of their own drum. And if she had a prior engagement, I'm not putting it off to do no other shit. Like this was what I had planned already. This is somewhat important,
Bruh,
but it ain't really that
I don't work
important.
here no more. I ain't coming to that work party. I don't work here no more.
Mm-mm. If
And
I was free, my husband's there, I'd accompany him. But
you
I
know,
kind of had some other shit I had to do.
I'm looking at everybody else crazy for skipping the luncheon that happens after. You got Biden. I think Biden, Obama, and Bush all said that
Yeah,
they were skipping it. Well, why are you showing up to the inauguration? Like, don't come to the ceremony and then miss dinner. If you coming to the ceremony, we eating after.
I was about to say because I for sure be the nigga to miss the inauguration. I'll come get a plate
Come
though.
get a plate. Like
Yeah.
yeah, nigga, I'll pull up and get something to eat, nigga. I don't feel like being there for that. But the food free, so I'll be there for that. But you gon'
And I don't have to dress up for the food. Like
what
for the
we
inauguration,
doing?
it's outside, it's cold. I got a tie on.
George Bush ain't say not that anybody's looking at George Bush to be anything whatever. He ain't no Jimmy Carter, but that nigga ain't have the balls to straight up say I'm not rocking with Trump. Don't vote for this man. But you gonna skip out on the luncheon. You gonna walk past him at Jimmy Carter funeral or not? Like I'm like it just doesn't make sense. So shout out to Michelle Obama being the only one,
Have some nuts.
and not the way that y'all be trying to make it seem on y'all side of the aisle talking about some that's a man. Only man that is a lady that I know about that ain't no is Sierra. That's the only.
Uh, they obviously never looked at
And
the
she done
essence
had like
spread.
3 kids.
They see the essence spread because I saw the essence spread and there was a picture of Michelle Obama. Like, there's like a silhouette from the side.
There wasn't no bump.
It was a massive bump.
No, I'm talking about the front. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It was definitely no front. Yeah, she was too close to the press, but I just like okay.
y'all don't
I
like black
then
women.
yeah, I thought she was a pretty lady, but when I saw that, I was like,
Yeah, she got some jaw. She got some jaw stuff going on. I mean, everybody got their own little stuff going on. I'm bald.
yeah.
Well, like, what we doing? Everybody,
And she
she
still
cute.
looks. I was about to say, she's very pretty. I don't even like I don't know. Every time, the only time white women can actually really get me is in the gym. That's the only time and it's probably has something to do with me lifting. But I'll see a white woman in there, and I'm like, maybe I could see myself. But then it'd be another one that'd be brown, and I'd be like,
Well, that one
but
is.
but
Yeah.
that's the one. That's the bloodline right
But you feel me? If it's the same,
there.
if it's the same, and I could get a brown one. Then
I'm just gonna go with the
I'm
brown.
gonna go with the brown.
I'm gonna go with the
But
1000%. Like
yeah, like that.
white women can
No
only point
brainer.
me.
I'm glad you
They can,
showed up.
they can only point me in the direction of where the black women are. That's the only. Like,
Yeah,
hey, white lady, come here, please.
yeah.
Where are the black women that are shaped just like you? Actually, never mind. I'm just go. I'll look.
I
Thank
find
you,
them.
but I figured it out. So yeah, shout out to Michelle Obama, stand on business.
Once
Um,
again, black women seem to be the only ones that can.
yeah,
Obama, like why you kick at the fuel, man? Why you kick with this man, bro?
he's too friendly.
Like,
That's
my
probably what she'd be saying.
God,
Like, nigga,
bro,
you mad friendly. Look at you, all your teeth,
you
all
not
your
a
teeth.
you not about to get in good with him and influence no shit. He don't like you. He don't like you. They don't like you. The girl don't like you. Like,
Yeah, nobody likes you,
Nobody
and
likes
you
you.
get up here. So shout out to him. More little political stuff I think you put in here about the no punishment for the hush money. He was convicted. I will say this though, it was pretty simple for me. I knew he wasn't going to get anything because nobody wants that on their legacy. Like I'm the guy to send the president to jail.
Throw that
Like
nigga in the slammer. What are we doing? Why
they
are
had to
we
blew up
letting this?
they had to blew up the judge house. They had to blow up his house. I get it. I get it. Listen. I'm not gonna be mad because I know what that comes with, and it's like you sitting in the sitting pre you gonna have a nice long Wikipedia section. And what I've noticed about these guys is all of them care about legacy. Every single one cares about legacy. I don't care that much about legacy, maybe because I don't have one yet, but they care about legacy. And the worst thing you want, what did Big Sean say? It only takes one instance. It was his dad told him one instance to fuck up your whole Wikipedia, some shit like that. And you're gonna have one whole section on the president's trial, that massive section in your judge
But
Wikipedia that
see,
shows that you did that.
that's the thing
I
that
know
I'm
you don't
like,
want that.
that's the thing that I just don't understand the read on it, because if you are the person that saved the country, then like, nigga, you saved the country. Like
You
we
saved
need.
half of the country.
Damn it! It is half. Shit.
It's literally split right down the you saved half the country.
Damn it.
So that means half of them is like, yeah, my hero, and half of them is like, we are going to cut your head off.
It ain't. Yeah, it's not the splits. Is not splitting right.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, man. So I mean, and in the Atlanta stuff, Fonnie Willis got bumped off of that because of her own misstep. Well, I tell you. And the thing is, why did y'all start all this 2 years? Like, why did y'all wait? Y'all should have had them cases
Merrick
ready to
Garland.
go as soon
Merrick,
as it happened. What are y'all doing?
the Merrick Garland.
Like
So
once again,
petty. So petty.
look at Drake. Look at Drake. Once again, case in point. This beef ain't a year old, and that nigga already got the suit on the table. Somebody's paying for this shit today.
Yeah.
These niggas waiting years. And then he trolling us because he retook the mugshot for his official fucking president picture. Bruh. I'm sick of this shit. But
Yeah.
this is where we at. Yeah, so no jail time for him. Everybody's
The
getting.
inauguration's Monday.
Yeah, the inauguration is swiftly approaching. Yeah, man, we're here. Everybody's getting off their farewell addresses. Biden got off a few of his. He's, signing stuff, signing executive orders, pardoning folk. I think he actually pardoned a lot of people, actually, because this is like the third round of pardonings in like the last month. So he's purging all that type of stuff. These things seem like gross miscalculations to me, because had you given your farewell address at the midterms, then we could have had a proper primary, and then we might have been able to figure out something with this election. Had you pardoned all of these people, these great thousands of people that you're pardoning now, had you done that, early on into your presidency, you're currying favor with people. You're showing that, hey, we're doing things differently now. You shoehorning all this shit on the back end is not doing what you think it's gonna do, because everybody at this point now realizes how up the creek we really are, and now you trying to warn everybody about corporate capturing oligarchs, as if Kamala's campaign wasn't touting the great many billionaires that were supporting her. Guys, like, I would like for you guys to just be a little bit more self-aware here. It's not that you are wrong about anything, but you are kind of a little too late. Just a little, a hair, a smidge too late. The election is already passed. There's no real. When it was time for election, right when he won, you welcomed him back in the. Y'all was kicking it. You brought him back in to the White House. Congratulations. Ain't no congratulations. I don't want to talk to you. You can come here on the 20th when it's time for you to come here. Don't you show your ass up here anytime before. I'm not helping you with no damn transfer of power. You shouldn't have the damn power. You're a felon.
It was that.
Like, what are we doing? So, it was a good address. He spoke truth to power. Finally, he said all the things that he needed to say. Finally, he's doing all the things that he needed to do. But we lost already, sir. Like, I'm pretty sure those people are glad that they're out of jail and they're out of prison and they're free. But we lost already. So, are there going to be any programs for them to, reintegrate into society? Are they going to, like, what are we doing? Because we know Agent Orange ain't doing nothing for them.
Agent Orange.
So,
Uh,
but we got a ceasefire deal. And then Israel just dropped some more bombs because the ceasefire deal don't start till like another 72 hours or something like that. So,
oh, they trying to light it up real quick before it's lit.
real quick, shot clock running down. We got to let's see what we can do for halftime.
This is the same situation when like what team was trying to break that 3-point record and they was just chucking shit at
Oh
the end.
yeah, I remember
Like,
that joint. I remember that. Yeah, that was crazy. The Celtics, I
yeah,
think it was, and they were
yeah,
bricking like a mug. Like nothing would
chucking shit
drop,
up.
and it's like nothing's dropping because you didn't put Jason Tatum back. Like, why are you trying to make Peyton Pritchard break this fight? Stop. Cut it out. But yeah, similarly, we out here just with it's garbage time. It's it's looking like it and it's feeling like it. It's
Mm-mm-mm.
like, so yeah. Also in another address tied to the ceasefire talks, he admits that he said, BB, you can't be carpet bombing. And BB says, well, y'all did it, and y'all did it in Berlin, and y'all did it here, and y'all dropped nukes, and y'all been killing, y'all kill civilians to win y'all war. He's right.
Oh, that was different.
He's got a point.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what that does is now prove that his intent was genocidal. He was meaning to kill as many Palestinians as he possibly could without any regard for killing the people that were actually responsible for the attacks. There have been mass reports about this thing the whole time it's been going on. There have been reports by the people that were scared to say it, apparently, that are now bold enough to publish a report, even if they're also dumb enough to say that we've been sitting on this report for 8 months, and now the death toll is 40% higher.
Yeah, niggas like, oh,
And
it's worse than we really thought it was for real. It's like, oh, you don't say.
now Biden is out here talking about some, yeah, man, I told him to stop, and he said, well, y'all do it, so I just gave him another $10 billion. What
Mm-mm-mm.
if we had no presidents and everybody just agreed to be chill?
What the money make a bitch do?
Like, you don't know what to do with any of this information. Why are you telling me this? This is so terrible. So yeah, man, I don't know. You have any thoughts on any of this madness that's going on right now and this lead up
Actually,
to the inauguration?
I actually try not to think about it. That's the crazy thing. I try to turn the brain off there. Uh, it's got
I turned my
the
TV
Kill
off.
Bill. The Kill
Yeah, right.
the Kill Bill joint is that literally is the soundtrack that in my head. The only time it's turned off is when I'm lifting or when I'm spending money. Like that's the only time it's turned off. I'm
Boy.
just like, oh, I go get some Uber Eats, and now I'm sitting there like Elmo, like just real excited when that Uber Eats comes, like that.
Yeah.
But then as soon as I'm done, I'm like, Alex is, we're trying to plan this trip to Europe, and like I just got the worst anxiety right now, just about just about everything, and I'm just like, she's pressuring me to go, and I want to dress nice too, but my biggest pressure is like I gotta get over there, but then I gotta get back, like.
Got you back.
So I gotta get back. So and you know what? God bless her because she's able to turn it off. I can't.
Yeah, bro. I don't know what it is with wives. I don't know what it is with wives that are just like, man, I don't. I'm like, you don't see this fire that's coming around. It's like, like okay,
See,
well, all
there ain't no fire in here. Like
right.
it's like it's
All
like
right.
oh yeah, Alex, she knows she means very well. I love it. I love the idealistic
Oh yeah.
nature
Oh yeah.
of my spouse because there has to be one of us that's like that. We can't both be
We can't both. Yeah, we cannot.
doomsday prepping because I'm in here. stressed the fuck out every single day. And she's just like, yeah, it'll probably be fine, I guess. I mean, it's been fine before. I was like, oh, you kind of got a point. It's Earl sweatshirt, man. I'm all right, but I'm not good, but I'm gonna be all right. Like,
Yeah,
I was like, oh, well,
for sure.
I guess that's it. Guess you have to think of it in that way. So good for everyone who can do that. I'm trying to
Facto.
be better with it.
Um, Speaking of that, right? So I guess to end on a lighter note, I had put some topics in there, some random dating topics, right? From because I've seen this a bit a little bit heavy on that stuff online this week.
Ooh.
Uh,
This the question the part.
yeah,
We got some more questions from the culture.
from the culture, right? Like, okay, so you saw the mother with her sons that said that our boys, so not my boys, our boys. She's talking about this woman is married. She's talking about her and her, or even her spouse's kid. Like they are together, and this is a unit decision. This isn't a mother making decisions for sons or putting
Yeah.
restrictions on sons.
She's just the one that was on top of it,
She,
like the one that it led with. But there
nigga,
is two people there.
my daddy don't be on Facebook. My dad make all his announcements via my mom on Facebook, right?
Fair.
So
And just know if my mom said it, then they're together on it.
cosign. So she said that our sons know that if they have a child out of wedlock, they will lose their inheritance. They need basically like we do positive reinforcement for positive acts. We don't want any kids out of wedlock. We want you to be married first, and I don't know, build the black family unit before we bring kids into the world. So if they have a kid out of wedlock before they are married, they will lose their inheritance. People are upset because
Mm.
why are you conditioning it? Why are you doing it on that? Why black women don't never want to see this? Why don't it's just like, guys, this is a good thing because this now incentivizes, outside of the tax breaks you're going to get, this now incentivizes that you find a wife and that
Yeah, at
you
first I
go
was
ahead.
against it. Initially, I was against it. I was like, yeah, that sounds weird. But then I was just like you said, I was thinking, I was like, yeah, I mean, the worst thing you're saying here is just to find a mate and take it slow. And actually, it probably encourages you to find the mate sooner, if anything. And the only regret I've said multiple times is that I didn't make her my wife earlier. Like that's the only regret I
And
have. And so it's like, if that was the case, find a good woman, grab her up from the world, have your kids, and leave the shit alone because it just doesn't really like the fact that people could be alone, like just like voluntarily, like, or I'm sorry, involuntarily. Like there are times that I want to be alone, but I don't always want to be alone. Like I feel bad for like the whole Drake, that people on the Instagram, the whole Drake thing, and people are just so okay with just like not having friends. I'm like that that hurts my feelings. Like I think everybody should be looking for companionship. Fuck that being single shit. I always got a buddy I go to the movie theaters with, even if I want to go by myself. I got a buddy that I always can eat with, that I can travel with. Motherfuckers is trying to. The logistics on travel is hard. Then you got to get other people's situation together. I ain't got to do that. I just roll over and be like, "Hey, you want to go to Europe? Yeah. All right. Well, we'll start saving. All right. Cool. When we going? I don't know, but I'll let you know when you put your PTO in. Cool. I ain't gotta think about who I'm going with, if people gonna have money or not. All the money comes from the same place.
mm-hmm,
Like, I
exactly.
I have real incentive to look over this woman, and she has real incentive to look over me versus just us both being individuals in a place and
And,
just like, what
and
happened to him over there? I don't know.
and once again, this is not disparaging anybody that's having kids out of wedlock, but it's saying that if you do not already have kids out of wedlock, right? Even if you do, like find a mate because you don't want to pay child support. Like you don't want to have to go through litigation to get visitation and all this type of stuff. That's why you're not gonna get the inheritance because you finna tie up the hard earned money that we save because you wanted to sow your royal oats. No,
Yeah.
it's so that's a good incentive. That's an incentive that's gonna take some of these women out of the trenches that be on here complaining about the men not wanting to get married or not wanting to take the next steps and always doing situationships and then laying down and having these kids that they don't plan on taking care of. This is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a responsible thing. You know what I'm saying? So if you work your ass off in order to leave your kid something, I'm not mad at the conditions. I'm not mad at the conditions. And granted, all right, let's keep it a bean. They probably still gonna bless the kid. Like they probably, it's their kids. They're not finna watch their kids suffer.
Mm-mm.
Like so, so it once again, it's an incentive. They probably still gonna get blessed some kind of way. Like the parents not gonna let you lose out because you made a mistake. It's just not gonna happen. Then Glorilla is single, and she's given reasons why she's single, and she
Mm-hmm.
says that it's because she's too much of a real nigga, and she'll call a nigga bitch quick. She'll bitch ass nigga, like she'll do bitch,
Mm.
bitch, bitch, bitch. Once again, as somebody who is married, as we both are, is that conducive to not being single?
How old is Glorilla?
20s. I don't think she's yet 30.
Let me just double check it because this is going to dictate my
However
answer.
old with the moose
Okay,
mouth.
so Gloria Hollywood Hallelujah Woods was born July 28th, 1999. So she is 25 years old. Okay. So I'm 31, guys, right? So I'm 6 years old in there. I got younger siblings her age, and this is what I'll tell you. Um, this is just young people talk. That's all
Okay.
that is. It's just young people talk. You can't like the whole conversation, like my mouth gets me in trouble and stuff like that. It's like you have to be able to practice self-control. So you can't just be saying calling people bitches. And I'll be honest, I don't think that's something that she's doing. Maybe she's doing that to people that she like has no real relationship with, and maybe she's the breadwinner. But like in a normal situation, like a woman and a man who just like are like equally yoked, um, she wouldn't be saying that. She would, I mean, from her music, it sounds like she's actually a little bit more submissive at times. Like if she's with someone that she actually
So
appreciates,
once
she's like
again,
she's gonna lean into
just
the relationship.
just like that Key and Peele sketch. He said, "Bitch," and then she come around, and just like Friday when he leave, I be talking again. Everybody talk their shit. Let people talk their shit. Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, guess what? You probably wouldn't go date Glorilla no way. If you see a girl that work at the post office that's talking her shit online, well, talk her shit online. She don't mean that shit for real. She's waiting for somebody to come save her. That's it. Don't take it to
yeah.
heart. Don't take it to heart.
A- And by saving, it's not even like a financial saving. I think it's just, like I said, man, it's tough being alone.
Y'all
And I
keep
don't know
doing
what
these
that's,
situationships.
yeah, I don't know what alone feels like. I don't even know what that feels like anymore. I instantly think of for two all the time. Like when I look at a flight, it's two. You know what I'm saying? If the accommodations, it's for two. Because I can have meager accommodations. I would be like semi. Like I don't need a whole lot. But for your lady, you want a lot, and you want to get a lot, and to be fair, that's how they think too. Especially if they really like you. Glorilla's just young. She's 25. It's fuck a bitch now, fuck a nigga now. I get it. I probably thought the same thing when I was 25. I'm so far removed from that, I don't even remember. But today, it's my wife, and that's how it's gonna be, and it's always gonna be that for the most part. Like I don't get me wrong, I still find the things that matter to me. But it's so much more fun when it's just us. It's us together. You see her, you see me.
Thank
And
you.
so that's how it's going to be. And she will eventually run into that, I'm sure. But at 25, you making all the money. What did Jay-Z say? And honestly, at 23, I would love the industry. I would love my work more than she did me.
Be like,
So, hey, you're into your work now. You want to make money. But one of these niggas, you see Meg, you ain't heard from Meg in a little bit. Why? See up on the Tory
because
Craig.
she out there with a role player. I don't know what's wrong with that girl. Girl, you gotta get you a star. You a star, girl. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Ain't no like, what are you doing? what are you
She
doing?
just she just wanted a nigga with money and was taller than her.
My
Like that was it. It's
God,
like all these
baby.
rappers short. Like they all short. You had to find them.
But I'm saying, like, you can't, like Donovan Mitchell. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's like guys that like are on a max deal that probably would like their chance, and it's like, what is going
But,
on? Why
but
you
Mitchell
keep?
got old girl
Ooh,
Coco.
Mitchell got Coco. Okay, Mitchell got Coco. DK Metcalf got somebody. Who did
Normani?
Normani? All right, good job.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's the caliber
Yeah.
you should be trying to get. Why are you dating Torrey Craig? I don't pick Torrey Craig on goddamn 2K. Why are you picking Torrey Craig?
What team does he play for? Chicago?
Like the Bulls now. I don't know. He's a journeyman. You dating journeymans?
He
I'm
could have got
mad.
Zach LaVine, I
I'm
guess.
telling you right now, if I'm Meg Stallion, I'm walking around with all that shit. I'm going for the gusto. God damn it. The same way Chloe out here going for the gusto, nigga. I want plaques, nigga. Gold plaque, platinum plaques. If you ain't got a platinum plaque, don't talk to me. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna have both of y'all come to Africa and show me something.
Chloe went for like the king of his area. He's like, I'm going for a nigga that owned the whole country,
And
pretty
then said he
much.
a grown man, he can do whatever he want to do. Hey man, hey man, if you see this,
Yeah.
sorry Tori, I ain't do your thing, nigga. Good job, nigga. Man, you can do a little better. Like just no more mid-level exceptions. No more mid-level exceptions. You're too good. I wouldn't accept not from Angel Reese either. Would you give a woman $2,700 for knowing her for 27 days?
No.
Just that simple. And I wouldn't date a woman that wanted it. So there you go. And guess what? It's not like they hard to find. Ain't nobody who even thinks of that. Like, guys, stop
This
taking this
is
shit to heart, fellas. Stop taking this stuff to heart that you see on the internet. You're not competing with that. That ain't
but the funny part is
that girl don't work
like
at Chili's.
that's like we gotta stop. That's not fly. That's not fly. That's not fly, bro. Like at the end of the day, let's just call it for what it is. Like we always thought the nigga who got the girl by throwing bread, and you said some weak shit like I'm gonna give you $100 for every day I know you. First of all, why 27 days? Like let's keep it a bean. That's horrible. You could have gave her up for the month, right? You could have been like, it's 30. What's this month? 31 days. Until the month is over, whatever. 27 days. Why you ain't stopped at 30? That's corny. Two, just because you said it doesn't mean it's some fly shit. Like, let's just break it down. If it was logic that sent that text, everybody would be like, that's mad corny, but we gonna take that bread. But we looking at it as corny. So just because we don't even know what dude look like, it's corny, period. That's lame. And then on top of all of that, son, like y'all be complaining about shit being so transactional, but you paying her for being around, like just like I'm not even the nigga that's talking about being a catch, but like my presence is
Ain't no
is
way.
is it means something too. Like we're sharing our time.
I will
You're
get
not like
you.
blessing me with the time. Like
I would have did it 3 days before. If I was gonna do it, I would have did it 3 days before. I would have got you 2 bouquets of roses, 2 dozen
two
roses.
dozens for one for every day.
There you go, baby.
And guess what? And to be fair, she probably stepping out of them faster on the roses, to be honest. Like you sent it in an Apple Pay, so like chances are she's not around you. The
She can't
roses,
even do the money phone or like the spread shit because you send it via digital. If you was gonna do that, you was supposed to pull up with the joints. Like you supposed to make a
yeah,
show.
yeah.
Screenshot.
Yeah, I was gonna say even if you send it to the house, because I've done a little romantic thing where I've sent the flowers to the job or sent it to the
Yeah.
crib or whatnot. It's
Yeah.
like that's going on Instagram way faster than a screenshot.
Hello.
Just being just being honest. So,
Come on,
and it's
fellas.
gonna cost you a shit ton less.
Come
It
on,
costs you
fellas.
$100 tops.
And then send her some chick. What you do is you send her money for Chick-fil-A. You don't send her no 20. You send her money to go get Chick-fil-A because girls love Chick-fil-A. That's what you
Yeah,
do. That's what you do. You don't niggas. Listen, we are married. We have solved it. We did it. We accomplished the goal. We are accomplishing the goal every day that we stay married. Listen, don't do that shit. That's
another
stupid.
cheat code too. Another cheat code too. Send her mother flowers. On
Ooh.
Like you want to talk about cheat code? That's the real cheat code. I sent Alex's mom flowers on Mother's Day, and I put in the card, Happy Mother's Day to you because you're responsible for,
Yeah.
my lady.
Yeah.
She sent it. She sent it all through her group chat.
Straight
Come on, I
up.
can't lose now. I
I,
can't lose. It cost me $50 to have her in my corner. Savannah, he's a good man. He's a good man. Now I got it on both sides. I can tell you, I can talk shit to you, and your mama gonna back me up.
Bam,
There you go.
bam, cheat codes. Listen, guys, that's what we do here. Yeah, episode what, 91?
One.
Yes, sir.
The
Yes,
Wayne
sir.
Gretzky episode or the Blake Griffin episode? Because I think he was number
Gretzky, Gretzky,
it
Gretzky,
was.
Gretzky, Gretzky. What are you doing?
Yeah, you when you pick number 91 in basketball, you giving up. You're done. It's over. It's over. He was checked out. But anyways, we'll be back next week, obviously.
Yes, sir, Ski.